What's up, everybody? I'm Chase Sr.
And I'm Harrison Graham.
We just launched a brand new show here at Chat Sports. It's called Any Given Thursday. We go live every Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 2 o'clock Pacific.
And this video you're about to watch aired live from this past Thursday show on our main Chat Sports YouTube channel. You see the link below, youtube.com/chatsportstv. So subscribe, join us every Thursday. And with that being said, go ahead and enjoy this video. Rolling along here on Any Given Thursday. We go live every Thursday, 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central Time here on Chat Sports. Let's talk about Josh Gordon here, who is trying to get back into the NFL. He has applied for reinstatement and most recently played with the Seattle Seahawks. Chase, it's crazy to think the amount of suspensions, the amount of in and out of the NFL he's been through the last several years. He's only 30. He's 30 years old. That's not that old.
And what a road it's been, because it's really been a rocky journey for Josh Gordon, really since he came into the league out of Baylor, where he starred and then got off to a wonderful start early in his career with the Cleveland Browns. I think when it's all said and done, regardless of how he finishes his NFL career, Josh Gordon is always going to be in that category of what if.
No doubt.
Because when he was at the peak of his powers in that second season with Cleveland, he was straight up phenomenal. He was a physically imposing beast at the wide receiver position. You take a look at what he did back in 2013 in 14 games. 159 targets in 14 games is a wild number. 87 receptions, more than 1,600 yards, and 9 touchdowns. And I thought at that time he was kind of ahead of his time with his ability to kind of catch swing passes, bubble screens, pick up a lot of yards after the catch, but he had breakaway speed. He could take the top off of the defense. And as I mentioned, 6'3", 225 pounds. He just looked like a linebacker playing wide receiver.
There was a brief moment where people wondered if this was the best receiver in the NFL.
No question. It was this season.
I know people don't remember that, but that was a real conversation that people like Chase and I were having on shows just like this. And you mentioned that rocky road. I mean, we'll just go through the timeline here. We'll just kind of sprint through this here. 2-game suspension 2013. Goes to the Pro Bowl that season. Arrested for driving while impaired in 2014. 10-game suspension in 2014. February 2015, suspended the entire year. Failed drug test, denied reinstatement in April of 2016. 4-game suspension in July of 2016 after he was reinstated. Left the Browns to enter rehab in 2016. November of 2017, reinstated again in Week 13. Traded to the Patriots a year later in September. Suspended indefinitely again in December of that year. 2019, gets reinstated before the season, waived by the Patriots, signs with Seattle, suspended again for violating the substance policy. In 2020, he also got, I believe, reinstatement declined. His conditional reinstatement was violated. He violated that pact that he had with the NFL according to an agreement there, and then released by Seattle in March, and then has officially reinstated or applied for reinstatement actually back in July, but fast forward a couple of months, back in the headlines because he's looking to hatch on with the team.
So I've been here at Chat Sports for 6 months. I started March 1st. I have not used that many timeline graphics my entire tenure here at Chat Sports in a half year.
That's Josh Gordon for you.
That goes to show you the long and lengthy road for Josh Gordon. And I'm not ripping on the guy because obviously this guy has internal demons that he hasn't been able to silence. And at times he has silenced them. But in the long run, they keep creeping back. And it's really unfortunate because it's robbed us of a potentially great career. Hopefully he's able to end his career on a high note. NFL no longer testing for weed, so maybe that helps him out in that regard. But when you have substance issues and then you start using substances again, that's when you can go down that narrow and windy path.
So does Josh Gordon deserve another chance in the NFL? Type Y for yes, type in for no. Really simple question. I'm a big believer in second, third, and fourth chances, of course, depending on the violation. But when you're talking about a guy that his violations have mostly been self-detrimental, obviously the DUI can impact others. Other than that, though, it's been just self-detrimental.
Yes. Self-inflicted wounds.
Self-inflicted wounds.
Yeah.
I certainly am a believer in second chances. So type Y for yes, type in for no. We'll make this the pinned comment on today's video. So get your votes in, and then after the YouTube ad break, we're going to go through my list and Chase's list.
I want to break down my list of my top 3 destinations for Josh Gordon. I want to start off at number 3 with the Kansas City Chiefs, a team, Harrison, you're very familiar with because you host the Kansas City Chiefs Report here at Chat Sports. Andy Reid, going back to when he started head coaching with the Philadelphia Eagles in 1999, has always taken second chances on guys. And I know we just ran through the timeline graphic. This would not be Josh Gordon's second chance, but the point is he's willing to give chances to guys who have slip-ups. And I think the Chiefs at the wide receiver spot are a little bit more thin than they've been in previous years because Sammy Watkins signed with the Baltimore Ravens. You're relying on Mecole Hardman, who I'm not sure if he can be a bona fide number 2. So I think the Kansas City Chiefs might be able to take a chance on Josh Gordon.
Yeah, real quick, just to kind of give my 2 cents here, and we'll keep going through your list. I wouldn't hate it. I know the Chiefs are pretty adamant about giving Hardman that opportunity to be that true number 2 wide receiver this year, but let's say he's kind of just pedestrian the next few weeks. Maybe week 5, week 6 could make sense to add him. We'll see how soon Gordon latches on with the team. I don't hate that because, like you said, Reid has given second chances with success, by the way, throughout his coaching career. So I don't mind that at number 3.
Number 2, New Orleans Saints. Like Andy Reid, Sean Payton has given second chances to a lot of players out there, and he's willing to bend with some of the personalities in the locker room. Now, Sean Payton, a lot more intense than an Andy Reid, but the reason I have the Saints on this list, the future of Michael Thomas is uncertain coming off that foot injury that continues to nag. And Michael Thomas and the Saints have kind of clashed heads over the last couple of years. They've had multiple disagreements, and I think the Saints, like the Chiefs, somewhat thin at the wide receiver position. And I could see Sean Payton saying, you know what, Jameis Winston's playing pretty well. We're kind of thin at the wide receiver spot. Can we take a chance on Josh Gordon? And I think he'd be able to thrive in that offensive scheme from Sean Payton. And then number 1, the Baltimore Ravens. They have suffered a litany of injuries over the last couple of weeks, most of them coming at the running back position. I'm not sure what's going to happen with Rashad Bateman, their first-round pick, because of that groin injury, kind of core groin type of injury, but you put Josh Gordon on the Ravens, and I think it does add a dynamic element to that offense. And with Lamar Jackson, sometimes when plays break down, you have to be able to play some recess, free-flowing football, and I think Gordon would work in that regard in Baltimore.
So you got the Chiefs, the Saints, and the Ravens. Baltimore being more injury-focused there.
Yes.
I think that makes sense. I think the Saints make a ton of sense as well. We'll get to my list here in just a moment. Before we do that, though, we want to tell you about our sportsbook partner. That, of course, is BetUS. Use our link below. It's very important to use that link, chatsports.com/bet. Just open up a separate tab. Type that in, chatsports.com/bet. Use our promo code CHAT125. That's going to get you 125% deposit bonus. Put down $100. You can get 125 bucks for free. And we have a jersey deal going. So follow these steps, some of which I just mentioned. Go to the link, chatsports.com/bet. Use the promo code CHAT125. Make sure you sign up and deposit. And also
at least $100.
At least $100. Also, you must place a bet on any game. Doesn't matter for how much. It can be a $5 bet on any game, any sport. No big deal. And once you've done all of that, email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We have a ton of different jerseys available from all of your favorite teams. Just email us, jersey@chatsports.com. We can show some of the jerseys on screen for you guys. I know a lot of Justin Fields fans out there. We've got Patrick Mahomes, Dak Prescott. I know we have some Nick Bosa jerseys. Tons of different ones available for all 32 NFL teams. Follow those steps. You can scrub back and screenshot it. You can also ask Chase and I questions on how to get going with BetUS if you can't figure it out. Chatsports.com/bet. Use that promo code, which of course is CHAT125 to get 125% deposit bonus, and then email us, jersey@chatsports.com. Okay, let's go through my list here for Josh Gordon. Number 3, how about the Patriots? I know they already have given him this chance, but, and they cut him loose, they could use a receiver, man. N'Keal Harry's banged up. I don't know when he's coming back. I don't know what he's going to be like when he does come back, but they've also been a team that has given players second chances. Now, they'll cut you in a second if there's something they don't like. I think that the Cam Newton, weird missed test for COVID thing contributed to his release, for
Important
example.
to note, Gordon is vaccinated.
He is vaccinated, so he can hop on with the team right away. So that is certainly noteworthy. So I think the Patriots could make some sense at number 3. At number 2, the team he's been with, because Seattle has brought him back on numerous occasions now. I mean, they've given him 2, 3, 4 chances here. He's familiar with the system. Russell Wilson's a big fan of his. I think that goes a long way. So I've got Seattle at number 2, and then at number 1, the New Orleans Saints. Kind of like what you mentioned, Michael Thomas, who knows when he's coming back. He's kind of been a diva recently as well. I think this Saints team could end up being better than what we thought, so why not take a calculated gamble here, Chase, and bring in a guy like Josh Gordon, who, worst case scenario, doesn't work out, you cut him, because he's not going to garner anything more than a vet minimum contract. But if he hits, Saints are thin at receiver. Could he be a number 2 type of receiver? I think it's possible.
I see somebody in the comment section saying, well, the Saints signed Kenny Stills. That means no to Josh Gordon. Yes, Kenny Stills might be more reliable than a Josh Gordon, but Josh Gordon is the better player with more upside.
There's no doubt about it.
Much more dynamic.
Even with all the time off, every time he comes back, he flashes. Now, I don't think he'll ever be that consistent dominant player or anything like that, but he is still a big play weapon when healthy. So, listen, I think all 3 of those teams make sense. I think the teams you had make sense. I think a lot of teams will have at least some interest. I'll be very interested to see where Josh Gordon goes. Predict it for us. Where will Josh Gordon play in 2021?